Colorado hasn't seen a top 5 ranking in football in forever. The Buffs probably won't see it this season under Mike McIntyre, but they're making strides in the Pac-12. But we do have Colorado ranked in the top 5 schedules in college football, and of course that's going to help keep them down and not even close to that top 25. But let's respect the Buffs. They went out and scheduled Michigan. So, of course, we look at the non-conference games. Colorado State, traditional rivalry, that's a Friday night opener. And that game's in Fort Collins. Idaho State's game number 2, and then the date at Ann Arbor against Michigan. Of course, we know that they'll be playing plenty of highlights of Cordell Stewart from 1994. Colorado State, Idaho State, and Michigan in the Big House highlight Colorado's out-of-conference slate. Then they dive right into the Pac-12. Of course, they have to face 9 of the 11 other teams in the Pac-12. So who did they miss? No Cal, no Washington. Cal we expect to be a mid-tier team in the Pac-12, probably the, off the top of my head, 7th or 8th best team in the Pac-12. Washington is serious. The Huskies are good. They're missing off the schedule. But still, when you play in the Pac-12, missing 2 games isn't typically going to change the equation much because you play 9 of 11. That's the highest ratio of any teams that you play within your own conference in the nation, aside from the Big 12, who plays everyone. But because of that as well, the Pac-12 is the most balanced conference in college football. 10 solid teams, 4 or 5 really, really good teams. Maybe no great teams, but very balanced. So the Michigan-Oregon back-to-back stretch is very difficult for the Buffs to handle. September 17th and the 24th, both games on the road, Michigan-Oregon. A little bit later in the season, October 8th, there's a 3-game stretch against USC on the road, Arizona State, then at Stanford. USC, Arizona State, Stanford. And then to close out the season, this is pretty rough. UCLA, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. It is the 4th toughest schedule in all of college football because you're dealing with the Pac-12 and with Michigan. And if you're Colorado, you don't have to play yourself, which means you play the toughies in the Pac-12. 4th toughest schedule in the country, 2nd toughest in the Pac-12. And if you're paying attention out there, you probably know who's going to be number 1 in the Pac-12, if not all of college football. Those are our rankings. Would love to hear from you on Mark Rogers TV.